These walls can talk. Open your mind and listen.
Trailing down these hollow halls, can you hear me? Staring down these storied walls, can you see me?
Hey everybody out there, I'm hoping this is working. I haven't done this in a little while, so I better go back and make sure I've got it all fixed. If anybody out there is watching right now and tells me that the intro is still continuing on, hey you doing there, Fab? Tell me if I'm talking or if it's my screen. Okay, so it is me. Okay, I had a couple technical glitches. YouTube Live changed a few of their little things they had to do. I don't know what they've changed, but they changed something anyway. I was going to close these in the background. A little less glare happening in. Of course, a hell of a lot nicer now that we got snow again. My trailer opens up in 6 weeks, so this snow has got to go away. All right, so welcome and hello from CHAPS. I am not here with Sydney, obviously. It's just myself today. Wanted to do this one kind of off the cuff. I've been sort of off the radar for a while with some health problems. You can tell I'm getting a little smaller, losing a bit of weight. I'm down about 60 pounds from September. I've had some surgery work and this and that. Some things suck, some things don't. Some things are getting better. But I'm still able to work. My employer is great. And probably in the next month or so, I'll be getting back into doing some local investigation work, which is great. We have a meeting coming up in a couple of weeks for the team where we'll discuss the rest of our year. What the theme is going to be for us this year, I think for CHAPS, a lot of it is going to be doing a bit of revisiting. You see, we kind of, over the years, had it where we had 40, 50 new investigations a year, and it's hard to get research contemplated on those, right? You go investigate, you give your findings, and that's that. I'm going to, this year, go and see more of the old research we did, redo it, see if we can come up with similar results. And I think that that's, hey Ron, has got a lot more body to it. It's a little bit more about refinement and less rush. Sometimes when you put too much, you end up screwing yourself, really, because all you end up making is just making videos and this and that, right? It's like, so it gets too much. But anyway, I have some people as of late making some comments. I get a lot of private stuff, right? People making comments that I'm too scientific, which is way off the truth because we're a pragmatic team, not a scientific team. I wouldn't take that away from somebody who actually earned the title of scientist. I'm not a scientist. And I don't care about the spiritual side of things. It's led into other discussions, but I want to start off by saying I was raised in the spiritualist church. I received my training as a medium. I taught people. I held meditation circles. I studied, beyond that, I studied various forms of the occult for numbers of years so that I would understand things. Even getting into studying comparative religion, be that everything from Muslim through to Jehovah's Witness and whatnot, so that if I hear an ignorant comment, I would know how to probably not correct it totally because I'm not a theorist about these things, but at least I could say it's not totally true. So I kind of wanted to state that, but what I think people need to know is that when we do research, we are going and researching things that we can come up with a cumulative result, right? Instead of just going off and saying, well, I think this is in the other room, and this is in the other room, and you have a portal. Because those are things that we can't, they're conditions that we can't prove, right? Like, I can tell you you've got a bloody portal in your basement, but I can't come and show it to you. There's no lock to it, and that's that. But I also got into another discussion. This is with a gentleman who's in Berlin right now. He's PDF prototype, good guy, Morton. I've been following him for a long time, and we were kind of slap-happing about shows, right? And I say that some shows have a reputable hook for what they are, right? I watch the TV shows generally. I generally don't watch them after a season or two, just so that I can see, hey, there's maybe an idea. Oh, I like that piece of equipment, or something else, or for entertainment. And that's really what they're for, is entertainment, right? As a paranormal researcher, I don't watch these shows to get taught. If you want to get taught, get with an established team to learn the methods, do it. Also, the best way to get taught is to work with other teams and see what methods work. Be a little less egotistical about yourself and realize you don't know everything. The last couple of years, every single year we work with a team. I've been investigating 24 years. My team's been around for almost 15. We've done in and around 500 investigations as a team. We've got the experience, but every single year I still see something some other team does that I say, damn, there's a much better way of doing that. And then there's things that we do that I look over time and go, it's pretty pointless that we do that. Even to equipment. Like, there's equipment that I have that I don't think works. I'm still using it because it's a research thing. Like, you take Kinects. I don't think I'm ever going to catch anything on it. I don't think it works. I've never seen it used properly. I'm just trying to set up the most feasible things to not create mitigating distortion and all that, to hopefully one day catch something that says, oh my God, we did catch something, but I don't expect to. I've caught my own team using equipment wrong. That's part of this meeting coming up. But that does happen. Over time, you can kind of go a little lax about certain things. So anyway, but television shows do have something to offer. They have entertainment. It's like when you're involved with the paranormal world, it's fine and okay to admit I watch a show because it's something that we do. And I want to see the similarities. It'd be like being a doctor and watching ER. There's no insult to it. You're not like an automatic asshole because you watch the shows. But I sat down last night. Remember how I went to lists? I just off the top of my head threw down all these shows. I kind of was going to say, hey, I just remembered some of these shows. And I was going to talk about them and their validity, right? Challenge shows. Now, we're not talking about back in the way day when In Search of and One Step Beyond and those variety shows that brought up the paranormal, but they were really kind of one of the granddaddies. This is before most of it. Was a show called MTV's Fear. You guys remember it? Everybody had to wear the little GoPro, and I think it's the first time I saw them being used. I had to go inside an old abandoned hospital, and they had chores they had to do in order to win. Much is the same as years later, Ghost Hunters Academy and the Paranormal Challenge. Look, I'm a CHAPS family member, so of course I enjoyed Ghost Hunters Academy, but it was kind of cheesy. Matter of fact, I've seen people from Ghost Hunters Academy now on their own shows being reveled as being experts when they were being shown as being, juniors. I believe Chris from Ghost Asylum, that I'm sure the Wraith Chasers were on that show. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying that he saw it, I'm saying he was on the show. And I imagine probably back in the day, maybe we would have been put on it too. I don't know how many years experience you had to have. And yeah, I saw dust go past my face there. That was dust. It was not a spirit. And then, to me, I think Zach Baggins, Dave Giuliano was involved with this one too as an expert. But Zach Baggins and the Paranormal Challenge. What shall I say? It was the same thing as Ghost Hunters Academy, with the exception that GHA kind of took it from. There was this group, and they got thinned out, more like a survivor mode. And in the Paranormal Challenge, different teams would show and which one won. And you had a really annoying thing he did to say it was over. Zach has a panache for that kind of stuff. You guys know that I'm not really a gack beater, or a gack, beat on the drum. So, there was those shows in the challenge part. Then we had like variety shows, right? Fact or Fake, Destination Truth, or anything else that Josh Gates is involved in. To talk about those shows, Ben Hansen and I have chatted back and forth. Ben was going to come do some work with me. I like them. They're still a variety show. Let's understand that pure reason for these shows is entertainment. They're a production. So no matter how much the team could be serious, and I'll bring that up later, but the show Sandy and I watched the other night, it's a production, right? And you have people you have to make happy. We've had 70 producers contact us over the years. We've never been put on TV because we're boring. Right? Although one producer of one of the shows I'm going to discuss actually made me learn something about that. You have other variety shows. By the way, just if I could have the budget that Josh Gates has for his shows, I don't know what I'd have to do to get on a show like that. I'm pretty sure I would just make crap up. There's my integrity gone out the window just to have his budget. That's insane. His shows are just entertaining. Josh Gates is just a fun guy to watch. He's smart. He's the real deal. He's a educated archaeologist. So we put it to good use. But he's got some cool places he goes. Creepy Canada, Paranormal Survivor, Paranormal Witness. These are all shows that contact us to give them stories. They're not there to see a team, but they're there to follow a story. I think Paranormal Survivor this year wants to have me on as an expert. I don't care for that term, but okay. But those are variety shows, right? I don't know where Haunted Collector comes in there. John Zaffis is a nice guy, and I know that show more is based on a theory called psychometry, which is where, this pen here was in Charles Manson's hands when he planned the murders of Sharon Tate, etc. I can have his thoughts. I grew up in spiritual church. Psychometry was a big deal. I've kind of felt it work. I've kind of not. But I don't know if it was me or if it was my mind. So, I don't know. John's a nice guy, though. He is. He's obviously been in the business forever and related to paranormal royalty. There are shows like the medium shows. I won't get too deep into those. Rescue Mediums, Long Island Medium, all that. That's candy floss for the mind. Again, we have a show talking about things that nobody can prove. And look, you know what? I've sat down and I'm going to do extended research with my team this year on those type of things that we wouldn't do normally. Psychic interruptions and all that kind of stuff, where we're going to be working with the whole ESP thing and finding out, okay, since it's psychic, how much can you actually derive information-wise, and how much actually comes up just as a hunch, right? I had a lady this year, it was a couple of years ago, do a psychic reading for me at an investigation, and I was like, wow, crap, this lady was really good. And then I got together with 4 of my teammates that got a reading from her, and they were all the same. It just goes to prove a lot of us kind of have the similar things. I'll do work with tarot cards this year. I'll do work with all kinds of stuff, and hopefully put more of it online. So now we start going into actual shows, right? So do we start with the garbage, or do we start with the good? That's a hard one. There's a lot of shows that didn't they were like 1 or 2 season things. Those are the shows that would feature people like us. Just not made for TV. The egos aren't there. The attitude isn't there. We're made for YouTube. Let's have a look here. Deep South Paranormal. I think they have 1 season. Deep South Paranormal came along about the same time as all these swamp people, Duck Dynasty were coming along. We all got this whole sour drawl thing going on. Everybody had beards and bottles with XXX on them and all that kind of shit. They didn't make it past a year. They did some interesting locations. They handled the standard fare of investigative methods that we all do. But it didn't go anywhere. It was a hook that didn't hook. I watched it. I wasn't overly entertained by it. I thought the southern drawl was a little too much to it. No offense to anybody down south, but sometimes it kind of just gets put a little too much. Let's check that one off. How about Ghost Mine? Ghost Mine, in my opinion, was the top 3 pieces of shit that were ever on TV for shows. We're going to investigate mines. Only one investigator, the rest were actors. That producer was the closest we ever became to going on TV. He talked to me from Hollywood on the phone for like an hour one night, and finally asked me, he says, what do you think it goes by? And I said, it's the biggest piece of tripe I've ever seen on TV. Oh, that's my show. So our big break, we got lost up my big mouth. But one thing he did say to me was, and it was a good point, because I said, we're kind of all about a little bit of the seriousness about what we do in education. He goes, well, Dave, nobody's going to, because he's told us that our videos are boring. And he was right. And I think they're still kind of boring. But he's like, if people don't enjoy what they watch, then they're not going to learn anything at all. And that's a good point. So I try to keep my integrity now while making it a little fun. That's why we try to crack jokes and all that kind of stuff. We just try to be as real as we can. It's the way we are with our clients. When I go visit, we go to a client, they know that somebody's going to pass gas. They know that we're going to, tell jokes. That we're not there to be these arrogant pricks. But Ghostmine, huge piece of shit. X that one out. Ghost Asylum. And now that they've got this live paranormal, it's the same group. I know that the Ray Chasers are really nice guys. If you see them on Twitter and stuff, they're very they're religious too. They seem to be a very earnest lot and have good intentions. I don't know how much Ghost Asylum helped them. I investigated some of the places they did. Entertainment. They're doing a live now, like Paranormal Live, which I watched the other night and I realized that it was Chris and Mike and all that from the Ray Chasers. I think there's kind of a hook there nowadays, obviously. Live PD, all that stuff. We're following a trend. I watch live PD. I watched a bit of Paranormal Live. A little too many ghost apps for my taste. Walking out in the middle of the field, using a ghost app and using EMF detectors and all that kind of stuff out in the field. There's too many variables to make that good. Let's have a look here. So it was Ghost Asylum. Oh, the single biggest piece of shit that was ever on TV, if anybody remembers this 6-episode thing. Extreme Paranormal. So Extreme Paranormal is obviously trying to get the draft of things like The Craft and all that. I think they were trying to get the more teenagers out there doing this stuff, but that's dangerous crap. There was guys like they were getting in a coffin and being buried alive and setting shit on fire around them and all that sort of stuff. It was to what the name was. It was extreme, but it was like extreme and dangerous. This is right around the same time when we had a paranormal investigator in Toronto drunk. I don't think he was an investigator. It was somebody that was investigating. Try to jump from one building to another and ended up falling between two buildings and dying. Okay? So I won't give them any more airtime than that. Extreme Paranormal is complete crap. Whoever came up with the idea, it should be not on TV. Ghost Brothers. Okay, I gotta be honest with you. Sandy and I, that's my wife on the team, Sandy, she makes all the videos. We go over to Shannon, who is on the team. That's my niece. We go over there for date night. At least we used to, until I got sick. We watch Ghost Brothers all the time. Not for any educational value, other than the fact that I think Ghost Brothers actually brought some paranormal TV enthusiasm back because they were funny. They were just funny guys. Do you know what? Like, they didn't take themselves too seriously. And they were just doing what other TV shows do. Two of my people that I work with, two brothers at work, said there's no way these guys are legit because brothers don't do the paranormal. Although, see my Oshawa video, I got one of my guys to come do it. They're funny. I really like them. I think they're awesome. They're not for education. I don't look at them for that, but they're fun. And I won't dash the Ghost Brothers because if you watch Ghost Brothers exactly for what it is, it's for fun. Dead Files. I've only seen this show twice. Let's have a medium. Let's have a cop. It seems like a really unverifiable show on both fronts. The files, everything just seems a little too researchable. get a little too campy. I've only seen it twice, so I can't have too much of an opinion on it. Gotta be honest with you. I mean, shows like back in the day, Creepy Canada and all that kind of stuff. Again, they're just variety shows. They weren't investigators. I know Creepy Canada, I think, was largely handled by Haunted Hamilton. But again, I haven't even seen a lot of that in the last while. Paranormal Cops. Jesus, this was a terrible show. I don't care what anybody says here. Guy walking around with a stogie and, yeah, say F you, yeah, tough guy stuff. That's kind of like extreme paranormal, but let's make them cops. No, he was a seasoned detective for 25 years, and now he's doing it. Look, some of these shows up. They're terrible. Just because they're terrible. Ghost Lab. I want their budget, too. That's the Kling brothers. Brad and Barry Kling. I've only seen 1 or 2 episodes. I think we got a lot of that up here in Canada. They got great toys. Great lab. I know people that deal with Brad and Barry Kling. Say that they're legit. They're great guys. So I'll leave it at that. It was in a real large rut where there was 35 paranormal shows on TV. So I think that there was a trend there. Let's understand it is what it is. It's a trend. People are going to have a hook. Most Haunted. Hey, Most Haunted is what started it for me. Okay, Fear and Most Haunted. I watched Most Haunted with monochrome background, castles and shit. I thought it was amazing. I loved it. It's what inspired me to actually want to really do it. And then, of course, my first 6 months, I was still doing the whole... Problem is, of course, again, first 6 months of any team, you want everything to be paranormal. You don't want to be like, God, I've done 20 investigations and nothing's come up. So, it's almost like, say, like CHAPS Family, it says you got to be around 5 years before you can apply. It's for that reason. That's the idea. Most Haunted, though, I really enjoyed. I couldn't stand listening to it that scream, but I loved it. Great locations, great budget, and mildly entertaining. They didn't really have, I don't know, the methods. Now that I take a look at the show, the methods really weren't that good either. Paranormal State, drama. Brian Buell's a nice guy. Spoken to him, emailed with him. He's a nice dude. He's hey, how's it going, Joey? He's a nice dude. He's nice. That's all I'm going to say. Paranormal State was a little centrified and dramatic for my tastes. The whole show was just based around Ryan and all his demons and everything following him. But I guess I don't know. I guess it was okay. It was a drama, right? Kindred Spirits. Let's see, okay, so I'm CHAPS Family, so I've got some bias here. Chip Coffee's on that show once in a while. Oh, Chip's a nice guy. I'm not really the biggest fan of Adam and Eve. I gotta be honest with you. There's a lot of attitude, a lot of drama, and everything's filmed with a soft filter, and we care so deeply for people. It's a set. What I mean is that they're not going there because they care deeply. They're going there because their producer hooked them up with this interesting site. And I've only seen Kindred Spirits 3 or 4 times. I didn't care for it. It felt like a 1 hour show was 3 hours long. Lockdown. Okay, so I'm going to put Lockdown and GAC kind of in the same thing here. That sounds terrible. You're totally right, Joey. Nick was the founder of GAC. All right. Nick's a nice guy. I think Paranormal Lockdown started doing in season 1 what GAC did in season 1. I don't think GAC was a terrible show in season 1. Ghost Adventurers season 1 was okay. Do you know why? Because they had a different kind of hook, which was, hey, we're going to go into a place, we're going to bring in 3 handycams and a couple of devices, but that's it. It's not going to be a production crew We're just going to like film each other. We're going to get sequestered in a home. We're going to get shit scared out of us, and it's going to be real. Okay. And then Gak got more like Zach, puffing himself up, and, you know, like, oh, come get me, Spirit, I'll bust your head in. And then, you know, the 75 toys that they use to now it's Gak, 11 seasons in, is the biggest piece of drivel that's on TV. I can't even force myself to watch it. You know, it's been like, oh, it's the only thing on. Gak for a little while, which is, and I'm a TAPS guy, was more entertaining to me than TAPS because it had more production. But then it jumped the shark. Like, now it's weird and lame. And now all they do is they investigate that the museum of his. Look, Sandy and I were staying at a hotel 2 blocks away from this museum. You'd think 2 paranormal investigators would want to go to that. I am not paying $45 American to be guided through a house. Nope, not happening. So, Gak to me is gone way hell. Paranormal Lockdown. I like the first season because they did the sequestered thing. They put the cam there and they just do their thing. They seem very earnest about it, right? Like I said, Nixon. I think one of the successes that Gak had with Nick was that, you know, you had the charming one, you had the goofy one, and you had the sincere one. Nick is sincere, right? He's believable. He's a nice guy. They were like that. Second season, a little less. I haven't seen any of the third season, but they're done. They're finished now. They're off here. So I don't know. I don't know what came about that. If anybody knows why, because I think I'd seen some comments politically about that. But I like him. Do I watch a lot of paranormal investigators on YouTube? I do. See, the problem is a lot of them aren't, like, shall I say, production-wise, all that entertaining. But I do because I know a lot of teams out there, and we've co-investigated with a lot of teams. Sometimes what I see online isn't all that great. It's a lot of people using things wrong, and I don't want to step up and get nasty about that. So, Ben, to answer your question, I do, but sometimes I do it a lot more quietly. If you have any decent links that I should watch, go ahead and send that through to me. Last show I'll discuss, honestly, is Ghost Hunters. Okay, so this is always the biting off your tail to spite your face, or whatever that kind of comment is. I am a TAPS family team. Okay, yes. We have opportunity, like we have done numerous times, gone down outside of Paracons and that sort of thing, TAPS family weekends, or when TAPS family teams get together with the cast and all that of Ghost Hunters. We stay at a hotel, not told about, and kind of hang out, and have a few beers, and do our thing, right? It's a good opportunity for us to be able to actually talk straight with them. I was TAPS Family Management for a number of years. I was their international liaison. There's been some changes. I'm still, CHAPS has been in TAPS Family for over a decade now. So, I'm going to have my biases there. Certainly I did like the first couple seasons better because it was out of a trailer, and they were doing houses, and there's more debunking, and there's just enough drama to make it interesting, and I know that there's something new coming, I think, down the pipes. It's good talk. Not that I know anything at all, so don't bug me about that. But The Hook, it's the same thing. But you got to understand, before you make fun of all these people, and this includes Ghost Adventurers, Ghost Brothers, Wraith Chasers, everybody. Sandy and I were discussing this the other night watching that live show, is regardless of your intentions of a team, you have to satisfy a product. You're a salesman. There's a lot of people out there that do, well, I would never do a show if they approached me. Bullshit. If somebody came to you and said, look, we're going to pay you, I don't know, $5,000 per diem for a 6-episode trailer, we'll pay for all your accommodations, your travel, and you'll get on TV, you're going to do it. you don't really have much say until you become kind of an executive producer and like that. But like a lot of these guys do what they do because they have to do what they have to do, and it's like this. You know, if you got a director or a producer saying that you guys are just boring as shit, nobody wants to hear that. We all want to think that we're excited. We all want to think that we're that team, we're that amazing group of people. But some people just don't have that, right? So, anyway, that's what I was going to discuss about shows. So you can leave your comments below, as Ray William Johnson used to say. And I guess I'm done for now. Talk soon. Bye.